You know, it probably would be a good idea to stock up on ammo while I'm here. The Great Khans have, possibly the best, like, armament in the game, which is kind of funny. Okay, well, let's talk to Papa Khan now.
Starting to feel like tensions are coming to a boil. There will be full-scale war soon. Ah, there you are.
Those black-armored devils might be new to the Mojave, but they're butchers like all the rest. So the cub enters the wolf's den. What do you want, cub?
Can you tell me about your people?
You want to hear the story of the Great Khans? It's a long one, full of honor, glory, and betrayal. We have suffered, but we will regain our glory. In a hurry, are you? Very well, then. The Great Khans came east, out of the NCR 14 years ago. We ruled the wastes then, and called no man master. But we underestimated the families of the Strip, and they drove us back to Bitter Springs, where we remained until the NCR arrived and drove us here.
So what happened at Bitter Springs?
When the NCR came to the Mojave, we thought they would be easy pickings. We raided their caravans, their towns, their camps. They couldn't stop us. At least that's what we thought. They tracked us to Bitter Springs and surrounded us. When our children, our sick and old, fled through a nearby pass, the NCR gunned them down.
That doesn't sound right.
Oh, they claimed it was a miscommunication, but tell that to those who saw our families butchered. Tell it to the survivors who were banished here.
So how did the three families defeat you?
They allied with Mr. House, the self-proclaimed master of New Vegas. He supported them with the resources of New Vegas. Weapons, technology, caps. They were better equipped, and we could not stand against them.
Alright then.
Typical. No reference for history in the younger generations.
So who are you?
You march all the way out to Red Rock Canyon, enter my home as bold as you please, and you have no idea who I am? You've got guts, I'll give you that. Well then, let me educate you. I am the chief of the Great Khans. The Khan of Khans, if you like. This is my tribe, and these are my people.
Alright, goodbye, I guess?
Farewell.
I understand you've been invited to meet with Caesar. You should be aware of the honor you've been granted.
So who are you?
My name is Carl. Glorious Caesar has sent me as an emissary to the Great Khans as a token of our alliance.
So what does the Legion want with the Khans?
Though they have been cruelly oppressed by the NCR, the Khans remain great warriors. The Legion is honored to have such allies in battle.
And what's your role?
I am one of the Frumentari. It is my duty to scout the waste in Caesar's name and make contact with any tribes that might serve a useful purpose. You might say I'm somewhere between a scout and an ambassador. I'm assigned here as part of the alliance between the Legion and the Great Khans.
So what alliance?
In exchange for Great Caesar's promise of all the lands west of New Vegas, the Khans have agreed to fight alongside the Legion when the time comes. Speak then. Yes, goodbye.
Caesar's veterans are making short work of the NCR.
Share whiskey with me
Or that's
sometime?
what I hear.
I haven't seen you before. What brings you to the Great Khans?
I don't really know. What's your opinion of the NCR?
That's a complicated question. They've done horrible things to our people, to be sure. and I've gladly killed many of their soldiers in battle. But I can't bring myself to hate them the way Papa does. Things would damn sure be better for us if they were in charge than Caesar.
So if you were in charge, you'd fight with the NCR against Caesar.
I suppose if asked, I would. But that's a moot point, because Papa's in charge now, and he's not going anywhere.
What can you tell me about him?
Papa is one of the best leaders the Khans have ever had. He's kept us together through all of our hardships, ever since we left California. Bitter Springs changed him, though. He started to really hate the NCR after the massacre. And sometimes, I worry that's poisoned his mind.
What did you mean by that?
Nothing. Forget about it. I shouldn't be talking about this with an outsider. Until next time.
It's always a pleasure to see you around the camp.
I've come to ask the Khans to break their alliance with the Legion.
Have you now? Well, you're a bold one, I'll give you that. But why should I do this for you?
I mean, if I really had my option here, it would be that you'd get dissolved, but I guess this is the closest I'm gonna get.
Ha! The great Khans will not be slaves. Caesar himself has promised us the land from here to the Colorado, and the freedom to raid as we see fit. I won't hear any more talk against Caesar or his alliance. The great Khans will answer Caesar's call to war, and the NCR will pay for their crimes.
Uh-huh.
Farewell.
Nice
Yeah.
robot.
You honor the great Khans with your presence. Until next time. I heard you try to convince Papa Khan not to join with Caesar's Legion. I'd like to talk to you about that for a moment.
Oh, now you're interested? What is it you had in mind?
You want to convince Papa not to ally with Caesar, right? Trust me, you'll get nowhere just talking to him about it. He's fixated on restoring the glory of the great Khans, and he sees Caesar as the path to that restoration.
Okay, so what do I do?
Papa can be a stubborn man, but he's not a tyrant. He listens to his tribe, and to 4 voices in particular: me, Jack, Diane, and Melissa. If you can convince all of us that allying with Caesar is a bad idea, you might be able to sway him. I have my doubts about Caesar, yes, but I won't publicly go against Papa Khan based on nothing more than doubts. I've heard rumors that tribes who aligned with Caesar in the past were torn apart and reduced to slaves. Prove it, and I'll back you.
What would convince Jack and Diane?
You'd have to talk to them, but those 2 have been thick as thieves since they were kids. Convince one, and the other will come around.
And Melissa?
Ah, Melissa. She's a bit of a dreamer. Last time she was in camp, Carl filled her head with stories of serving the Legion as a speculatore. Personally, I've never seen a woman in Legionnaire's armor, so I have my doubts.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Good. Oh, one more thing. Caesar's representative, Carl, has become fast friends with Papa. Carl's the one who has him so fixated on this alliance. You'll probably have an easier time of things if you can find a way to get him out of the picture.
I'll keep that in mind.
I would too, if I were you.
Find evidence that Caesar will annihilate the great Khans. Yes, I think I know where that is. It probably marks it, but I think I know where that is. Yeah, it's back at the fort. I'll get that real quick. I guess that's not stealing. That's interesting.
new slave girls are cool.
What a load of Brahmin shit. Can you believe that guy?
I didn't even talk to Caesar. What are you going on about?
Well, yeah. Right. What did I expect? The man's a megalomaniac. He acts like this is some preordained cycle we're returning to. Of all the people who could learn from our past mistakes, he goes and throws all of our knowledge off a cliff. Instead of trying to learn from the past, he recreates it, runs back over the same old barren ground.
Yeah, okay. Come with
Either way.
me. And come with me.
Yeah? Whoa, new guy. Right on. What have you got? Right on. Let's have it. Grootalicious. That ought to rake in the caps. What do I owe you? Right on, right on. You're a pretty hip cat. Right on. What have you got? Right on. Let's have it. Grootalicious. That ought to rake in the caps. Right on, right on. You're a pretty hip cat. Right on. Right on.
You know, I figured this guy's dialogue would have been a bit more varied with this, but...
Grootalicious. That ought to rake in the caps. What do I owe you?
nothing.
Right on, right on. You're a pretty hip cat.
Oh, cool, I got pocket sand. So I'm here to ask if you will publicly oppose Papacon's alliance with Caesar?
Huh? Look, man, me and Diane, we don't dig on that politics stuff, savvy? We just make the product and make it get to a good home. Sure, Caesar's a drag, but as long as we've got each other, we don't care who the top dogs roll with. Dude.
Okay, hold on. I can convince you. No, I can't. I don't have, do I have maybe... Oh, that sucks. What about
Hey,
you?
What's up? Anders got back a little while before you did. He told me what happened. If that's how the Legion treats my people, I don't want any part of them.
Okay.
Bye.
How's my most favoritist friend?
Right. Up next would be... Melissa? Oh, that's a fun one. I should probably get something for that. Hold on. Oh, look, it's everyone's favorite, the Cazador. Yeah, so as you can tell, I brought this for a very good reason. Excuse me, how did that not hit? Okay. Also, it's really nice of my companions to show up like 5 seconds late. Thanks, assholes.
What a shame.
That's close enough. What do you want with the Great Khans?
Regis says I should talk to you about speaking against the Alliance.
You can ask, but why would I do that? Carl told me all about the life in the Legion. He says I've got all the makings of a speculatory.
Did he also tell you that there's no women legionaries?
What? No, What do you mean aren't allowed to serve? Why would he lie about that? That lying little weasel. I almost fell for it too. All right, you've got a deal. You can tell Papa I won't support an alliance.
Wanna play Hand of Caravan? No, I'm good.
Bye.
Yeah, that's for eliminating Sloane.
Greetings in the name of Kaiser.
I've been wondering why you don't petition the cons for membership.
Join? Oh, no, I simply couldn't. That is, I'm not worthy of such an honor.
But surely a warrior in service of glorious Caesar is the equal.
Of course I am. That is to say, Caesar has many fine warriors.
I'm not gonna make
I
this
wouldn't
speech
wish to
check, am
compare
I?
them to the great Khans. Win?
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
More of my advisors are
Who am I supposed to give this to exactly?
You're becoming quite the political agitator. I can't say I'm displeased. Something else you wanted?
Yeah, here's his book you wanted.
Let me see. My God, this is even worse than I thought. Okay, you have my support. I'll tell Papa the Alliance is a bad idea. Until...
All 4 of my most trusted advisors have told me we should break our alliance. Maybe I should hear you out after all.
Yeah, I've come to ask for you to break that alliance. Here's a ledger.
What's this? Ah, yes, I've heard that the Legion has sometimes had to quell tribes that did not share its vision. The Khans, though, are protected by Caesar's emissary. I have Karl's word we will remain our own tribe as long as we remain loyal to Caesar. Take your slander elsewhere.
Okay, well, I've still come to ask to break the alliance.
I've heard some things from my most trusted Khans. It makes me wonder whether this alliance is a good idea after all. But I want to leave a legacy of greatness when I die. My tribe deserves better than this, cowering in a canyon and living on scraps. Tell me then, if I don't join with Caesar's Legion, where will I find my tribe's lost glory?
God, what are with these fucking speech checks? Holy shit.
The followers of the Apocalypse keep many records of the past. It's been a long time since we associated with them, but they might have something. Until you do find me something, though, know that I still plan to lead the great Khans to fight for Caesar.
Right. Sure.
Hi, do you need assistance?
I am looking for something that could inspire the great Khans.
The Great Khans. Oh, you mean those raiders that used to clash with the Vegas tribes? Yes, some years back we taught them reading, writing, basic science. We hoped they would use it to make medical supplies, but they turned to drugs. I was never much involved in the cultural side of that project, but Ezekiel was.
And who is that?
He's a member of the followers like myself, but his particular field is pre-war history and tribal culture. I do recall him being fascinated by the Khans. He kept going on about parallels to some ancient historical empire or another.
And where can I find him?
He rarely stops in here these days. You'd do best to look for him out in the wastes east of New Vegas. He's always looking for new tribes to study.
Got it. Follow the, map marker.
Was there something else you needed?
No.
You look like someone with a question. What can I do for you?
Yeah, Julie said you might know something about the Khans.
Oh my, yes. They're a fascinating tribe with a long and unfortunately tragic history. Their original incarnation, much farther out west, was almost completely wiped out by one of those itinerant heroes so common in the post-war years. Then, of course, the new Khans suffered a similar fate. Some say at the hands of the same hero, though of course the dates are all wrong for that.
Right, continue.
Well, after they migrated to the Mojave, we established relations with them, but that soured when all they wanted was to make drugs. The NCR eventually took them down quite a bit, but the really fascinating thing about them is the origin of their culture as a whole. You see...
I'd like to hear more, but apparently I'm in a bit of a hurry. I would have let you keep going, but apparently the game said no.
Oh, of course. I'm sorry. I do tend to get wrapped up in my own theories and forget that not everyone finds them as fascinating as I do. Here, I salvaged this book from an old library. It's a history of people called the Mongols. I think that's what the Khans built their culture on. You should read it. It's fascinating stuff.
Ah, you're back. What else do you need?
Yeah, here's this book. Read about the Mongol Empire. It could be interesting. I don't know. I would have let that guy keep rambling, but no. The game wouldn't let me.
This is exactly the kind of symbol the Khans could unite behind. We'll begin readying the camp to move. As soon as Caesar makes his move, we'll depart. We will make ourselves strong again, and we shall conquer.
Great Khans, drive Caesar's dog out of our camp. If he's too slow to flee, kill him.
Alright. I wish you the best.
If you should ever tire of wandering alone, seek us out. You might just have the makings of a great Khan yourself.
And there
Takes
he
you to mess with me.
goes. Wow, he didn't have anything on him. Alright.
Oh, hi again. Can I help you with something else?
Yeah, let's talk about those tribes again.
Please, go on.
I have convinced the Great Khans to leave the Mojave.
Maybe they'll be devoured by giant scorpions. All sorts of things could happen to them out there. That's 4 down. Just 1 to go.
So what do you know about the Omertas?
I remember that Benny used to pay a receptionist at Gamora for information. Maybe she knows something.
Do you know anything else about him?
Just that Benny didn't like them. He talked on and on about how they couldn't be trusted. And this is coming from Benny. He hated their casino, said it was tacky, and he thought they were up to something, because he said they always are.
Alright, maybe he was onto something. I'll check into them more.
Whenever you get around to it, we'll be just fine. Anything else I can help with?
No, that's good.
What should we talk about next?
I'm going now.
See you around!